Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. In 2018, the last time the government was shut down, I had a really good time. What had happened was I had just started my job at a different university in Seattle, Washington, and I was having a lot of difficulty with the politics of the group. I won't get into too much detail there. The crux of it was that I was having a hard time vibing with everybody there. Right. So, for example, I talked about last week how I had I'm working at a tutoring center. I had a student who had brought in something that I am deathly allergic to, and I had to distance myself from it. Things like that happen all the time. It's not just this one job. A lot of times I don't communicate well, and it doesn't go down very well. Let's put it that way. And so that Christmas break, I desperately needed a break. I mean, I normally don't even like taking break from work. Give you an idea, these days, a lot of times I don't know what to do with myself over the weekends. Part of the reason, you guys saw my zinc art, I have 1,000 of those zinc Buddhas. Part of the reason I accumulated so many of them is that I really don't know what to do with my weekends otherwise. I often feel like I'm limping from one workday to the next, right? Not only, some people say they live paycheck to paycheck, but I literally live from 1 hour of work to the next because I don't know what to do with myself otherwise. But at the same time, I love my work, but every time I run into quandaries, having to tell the students about a food allergy. One time, at the campus that I was at during the government shutdown, one time one of the custodians had spilled mercury and I had to leave the building. And I left the break room in a disaster as a result. The truth is that I should have been more mindful about spreading myself out in the first place. I mean, I normally would clean up if it hadn't been a mercury spill that day. It would have been a non-event. But when you leave your stuff spread out, there's always all sorts of risks, right? Not only that, there's a risk you might forget something, leave something behind. There's a risk that, depending on what you leave strewn about, you might accidentally show something you didn't want to show somebody, right? So I've learned to keep ever since that mercury spill incident, I've made it a rule to constantly think, if I need to evacuate now, how quickly can I get my stuff? If it's too long, I try to be mindful of that. I find myself constantly asking that question, especially in the months after that situation. These days, not so much anymore. I still try to be mindful. After all, I travel a lot these days, right? You're at an airport and all of a sudden there's a gate change or something and you have to grab all your stuff. It's very easy to lose stuff if you spread yourself out too much, right? And not be mindful of that, right? I took the trip to Yosemite. I was living in Seattle, Washington. It's about a 3-day drive. And when I got there, there was no government officials. I had the park to myself. I got to stay there overnight. Nobody kicked me out. Stargazing. That was fun. It took my mind off of the politics of the campus, the mercury spills, the how do I negotiate things. I suck at communicating with people. Yesterday I talked about how I hate driving. I want to talk about my first car accident because it also revolved around my sucking at communicating with people. I was in Pittsburgh. My mom owned a coffee shop, and I was just about to parallel park my car to go into her shop. As I'm parallel parking, I look behind me, and I'm like, I'm so glad this guy's sitting in his car because I kind of need another set of eyes to check on me. I'm backing up. I'm looking at him, and he's not telling me anything. And so I thought, there's no way I still have room. And I kept backing up. I'll let you think what happened. I hit the car. And he got out super angry. Like, why didn't you tell me I was about to hit your car? Because I thought he was looking. His eyes were in my direction, and I thought he was looking. And that's that's a very minor example, but sometimes what I think is going on in the office isn't what's going on. I think people know that mercury is something that you need to run away from, right? Or I think that I've already somehow projected what I want to do when I didn't say it, and the person misunderstood it. That's the kind of stuff that always gets me in trouble. That's why I really despise it when I run. I love it when I could just go to work, do what I need to do, and get out, right? I hate it when it starts to intersect with food allergies, disability kind of stuff, mercury spills, vacation conflicts. I hate it. I wish work could be just 1, 2, 3, go home, 1, 2, 3, go home. When it's like that, I usually do pretty well, by the way, right? And fortunately, my recent work has kind of looked more like that, except for that one minor incident. But you know what? That one minor incident, this is where I think God sometimes answers prayers in weird ways. I was upset, and I came home, and I started experimenting with all sorts of art. And that's when I discovered one of my alloy tricks for the zinc metal. I also submitted the Lego ideas for the Christmas tree, and also I I put some money in my Roth IRA. I was looking at which countries have the lowest uh, cost to earning ratios, and I did pretty well as a result. And I basically went into revenge mode. I thought the job was lost for good, because I've never turned around from that. Every time I have brought up a food allergy or some kind of workplace accommodation, that's it. It's all downhill for. I mean, usually I don't lose the job immediately, but it becomes a friction point that just gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse every time without fail. I don't know why I was able to salvage this one. I don't know. Even 3 weeks later, I still feel like I gotta be careful now, right? This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.